Even though most of the academia's restrictions have significantly relaxed, I need to stay here to keep an eye on the situation. Kale, can you head to Sumeru City and find out why she isn't here?
Does it?
I'd only assign a job this important to someone I trust.
Oh no, I'm fine. I've completely recovered. It's just that if I'm going to see...
I know. You'll have a tough time if you go by yourself.
Oh!
It's been a while. Sorry, that's not what I meant. It's just that this matter concerns research banned by the academia. Also, you happen to know about this situation? There are very few people I can trust to be discreet. It's complicated, and this isn't the best place to talk about it. We'll fill you in. You might have heard about her in Sumeru before. Her name is Faruzan, and she's a very experienced... Let's just say that a huge part of Ksharowar's mechanical research over the past 100 years have used her academic discourse and manuscripts as their foundation. She is, but she vanished for 100 years because of a certain incident. She only returned to the academia after being... Because of that, her current personality can be a bit...
I'm getting a headache.
She doesn't have bad intentions, so you don't have to be...
I'll try.
Yes, Ksharawar and Spontamod researchers are often quite prejudiced, so I can't trust them. However, Faruzan isn't influenced by modern thinking. In our previous correspondence through letters, it's already past our arranged meeting time, but she still hasn't shown up. I don't think so. With her personality, it's more likely that she got wrapped up in some... Anyway, can you go with Kale to the academia and check on...
Thank goodness.
I'm counting on you too. Kale, don't push yourself. Our task is important, but not... After all, if she's distracted...
All right. Sorry, what did you say? Oh, could you repeat yourself?
Faruzan, I said that you need to give us an answer.
Yes. And did you forget to add madam?
Your hearing is perfectly Madam Faruzan, we don't want to make things difficult for you. However, you haven't been teaching courses or supervising theses these past few years. Isn't this rather problematic as an advisor? Never mind the student.
And who, if I may ask, complained? If they have any issue with me, tell them to talk to me themselves rather than waste any of your... You don't have to tell me anything. I very well know that it's those people from Haravatat. How I wish they'd put their time into doing...
But, Madam Faruzan, it has been a long while since you last made any practical academic contribution yourself.
Academic contribution cannot simply be divided between the tangible and the intangible. The issue here, I believe, is that the reviewer does... In any case, makes no sense to use a metric like this to evaluate a
Wait! Madam
That's her, all right. But the person with her doesn't look like a Matra. Shh! She hates it when people Her body apparently stopped aging during the year she was gone. So that's why she looks the same as she did 100 years ago.
Anyway, Akara Crafts and the leader of Ksharawar would like to invite you. They're wondering if you'd be interested.
Mm-hmm. Ah, Kale! Why are you here at the academia? I'm much better, Madam Faruzan. Have you been sleeping well? You seem to be developing some eye bags. Is that brat Tainari forcing you to stay up late again? No, it's because I'm a slow learner. It's good to be hardworking, but you need to take care of your health. I'll have to give Tainari a right talking to when I see him. And is the person beside you the legendary traveler? Oh, I've heard much about you before. In fact, I've been meaning to meet you for It is thanks to you, after all, that the academia is finally getting back on its feet.
Madam...
I'd wager it's those Kasharawar dunderheads finding excuses so that I'd go to their darshan. Say no more. I have no plans to change.
If you're this unwilling to participate in the collaborative, it might be difficult to teach a course with topics that only fall within Haravatat's subjects, but we can't delay. You can teach a course or participate in a collaborative project. If you don't do either, it'll be hard for me to persuade the advisors and students who have—
Could you not give me a few more days to consider? This matter has been delayed for so long already.
That's precisely the issue. If you don't give an answer today, I fear that someone will soon—
What a waste of free time these folks are. Now you two are here at Tainari's behest, I take it. Of course. I shall need some time to think as—
What now? Master said there's no rush, but I know that he's been busy working on something at Pardees DI, so he hasn't returned to Gandharville. I feel for Madame Faruzan, but if I get her in trouble with the academia, then she won't have the time to help Master. Yeah, that would be the best, but I'm sure he'll say, the best thing you can do now is study hard, so I don't have to give— Huh? Oh yes! This way she can get her problem sorted out quickly. And so if I also stay and help... that's okay then.
I have to teach students from Haravatat, or—
We're back, Madame Faruzan. The Traveler said that he can stay and help—
Oh! Why, I couldn't ask for more. In fact, I'm rather curious about the type of person the Traveler is. You were the one who taught Azara a lesson after all. That said, will I be troubling you? Is that so? Good. It does so happen that I do. Now, should I apply to teach a course with Haravatat, or join the collaborative project that Kasharawar is proposing?
You might have heard of it before. Haravatat is an academic faction that researches languages and runes. 100 years—
Now, not was. Still am.
Yes, of course. But current Haravatat students can't really, understand her direction of research.
In summary, I mean to interpret the configurations and solutions of ruin mechanisms.
The research method is supported by Haravatat, yes, but the content deals heavily with both ruins and mechanisms. This will make it difficult for students of this darshan because they don't understand much. Also, there are fewer and fewer unexplored ruins left nowadays, and Kasharawar researchers have been developing their own—
They're far too complacent. Ancient mechanisms are more dangerous and I'm telling you, things weren't like this 100 years ago. All researchers back then were interested in exploring knowledge from a variety of topics. Nowadays, all people are interested in are mainstream subjects in popular research. Even if they attended my course, I wouldn't be in. Also, the people here think that my research is outdated and unrealistic. So they keep— Why, I think they could all stand to learn from Kale. She's a hard-working child and—
Huh? Why
if only those who came to my lectures were more like you. Speaking of which, are you feeling better? You don't have to confine yourself—
I just remembered that I have a lot of studying to do. I need to head back and find Master.
Are you telling me to start a reading course for—
Huh?
Wait. Although Tainari has academic dealings with the academia, he isn't considered part of it. This means that Kale isn't technically a student.
No, he's right. The old academia became consumed by their arrogance precisely— There must surely be many people like Kale and Sumeru who are passionate about learning, but cannot study. The old academia paid no heed to them. But if I start a reading course for Kale as a pilot, perhaps this shall come to benefit many more people.
I'll need to go—
Oh, save yourself the extra trouble. I'll come with you. If there's any arguments to be had, Traveler, Kale, do wait for us a little while.
Wait! I can't believe she rushed right in after we arrived. No, not really. Madame Faruzan is a brilliant scholar. Even Master thinks so. If she's really going to teach me, it's just that she can get a bit too passionate sometimes. Maybe it's because she wants to take— It's just like that researcher said. The academia has completely changed. I don't really get it. But it does seem like Haravitat's students aren't optimistic about the students who are interested in mechanisms and applications of the elements. Generally, Madame Faruzan also refuses to accept random students just to make up numbers. She still hasn't found a student she likes. Even after all, but she seems to like my attitude toward learning. So she often asks me, it's because I'm a slow learner that I have no choice but to stay up late and study. Whenever she compliments me, I feel really guilty. It's not that. Madame Faruzan respects my choices. She hasn't been trying to persuade. She sometimes brings food to Gandharvaville for me. And each time she says that Master can't find out. Now that you mention it does feel a bit like that.
Kale, Traveler, thank you for waiting. The issue, I argued with the higher-ups and convinced them of their practicality and necessity. If I'm not mistaken, they're the students of my classmates' students. They're a lot less forceful than their predecessors, though. I'd say...
Amazing.
It's just that we need to fill in every single page of the application. Let's see now. What do we need to... That's a bit too general, I'd say. After all, this class's target audience isn't toddlers or children, but rather people who already know the basics of reading. As such, we'll need a more specific learning objective.
That's true. If we...
And you have your job as a forest ranger, Kale. People who attend this course in the future are also likely to have life commitments. It must have been difficult. Expanding literacy is a capital notion. So that... Fair.
Me?
Light novel...
Wait for us, You wouldn't think someone as fast as her is over 100. Let's pick up the pace and catch up to her.
What a long and mildly ungrammatical title.
Is this your first time seeing a light novel, ma'am? Oh, they're the most popular of books nowadays. Would you like...
Fine. One shouldn't judge a book by its cover after all.
Of course. Why don't you try this one? It's Outlander Brigade, When the Wind of Death Blew Towards the Blondes...
I heard that this book's author describes action in...
Now, I've only skimmed through a few pages, but it feels like it's all fight scenes. There are only... The protagonist just ends up fighting in every scene with no proper build-up. Will anyone even enjoy a story that's only comprised of fights?
How about... the good thing about being reincarnated as a hilly churl is that...
A reincarnation isekai story? Those...
Isekai? What in the world is that? Also, why does it become stronger by eating tropes? Those fictional rules used to push the plot forward, yes?
Sorry.
However, this book doesn't explain how reincarnation correlates to becoming stronger. Such an illogical rule will affect the coherence of the story. Will readers really accept this?
How about this?
Oh, that's the latest volume.
Now that's a rather normal title length. Oh, Kale.
Yes, but I don't like it that much. Madam, are you going to use this?
Let me see. The dialogue flows quite well. Third eye of perception, illusory mirror, and so on. Are these...
I also thought those names were strange when I was reading them.
It's impossible to derive the meaning of these phrases in isolation. Also, or did the protagonist purposely create these strange names to disorient their foes? So there's no deeper purpose.
You're right. It's such a weird book.
Even the most popular book in Sumeru back then had greater depth than anything written today. Yes, a Bahumano researcher wrote it while researching. The plot had many twists. Even the sages back...
Is there a book like that in Sumeru? I've never heard of such a...
It's called Tales of Shariar.
Tales of Shariar?
About 100 years ago.
100 years ago? Are you pulling my leg? What sort of book?
The Legend of Antara is popular to this very day, isn't it? I just heard someone telling it a few days. If an old story like that is still being shared, then Tales of Shariar must be even...
Even if that is the case, I really don't carry that book here in my...
What? Is that because of the academia? I can't believe they've allowed the people of Sumeru to become so uncivilized. How can they not...
Tales of Shariar. Oh, wait. I mean, it is a book from 100 years ago.
Tales of Shahryar is considered an antique now? How could the Academia have let such an excellent work of literature be traveler? Kale, I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Madam, wait! Oh no. You asked me why I'm scared of Madame Faruzan, right? It's because I'm afraid of that ancient language she researches, because I can barely understand any of it. What if she uses ancient? Even so, what if researchers from 100 years ago like to use ancient languages?
Found it! The 5th volume of Tales of Shahryar.
Wow, you actually found it.
I never thought this book would ever get sold.
All right, that's our teaching material secured. We also now know what to call this course. Analysis of Classical Texts. After all,
Can I, luckily the language being used here isn't ancient at all. I can
as long as the writing is good, readers won't need any illustrations to imagine. Worry not. I shall thoroughly explain the difficult sections. You... After all this time, I wonder if Aaliyah and Aziz ended up together. Sir, do you have the subsequent volumes of this?
I don't...
Is that so? And here I thought I could finally read the ending. If I'm to use it as a teaching material, it's better to start earlier in this...
I don't have those...
Is this series really that popular?
No. It's not popular at all. Rather, they're...
No demand? Impossible. Back then, I'd come across at least...
Seriously? No one told me that this book was anything...
Where did you get this from? Can you still...
I'm afraid not. This book was sold together with a whole bunch of antique furniture. I didn't... Otherwise, the Matra would have come knocking. Wait, is this book actually worth a lot? It can't...
That's impossible. No matter how strict the Academia was, there's no way to...
I do remember a passerby skimming through the book a few days ago.
He sighed? Why would he react like that? Given the quality of Tales of I'm sorry. Why is there another misunderstanding between Ali and Aziz? Oh, and a new character is introduced with no foreshadowing at all? Is this really the Tales of
Well, that passerby reacted in much the same way. It's Madar from the cafe over there. You know, the fellow who, since that's also a very old story, maybe he knows a thing or two about that,
Then let's go ask around at the caf, huh?
Another day, another...
Excuse me?
Yes! Are you here?
Well... sorry.
It's fine.
Do you know about Tales of Shahryar?
Huh? Tales of Shahryar? Why, my master always talked about how incredibly popular that book used to be. However, I tried reciting a few chapters of it at the cafe, and...
Your master?
Yes, the one who taught me how to be a storyteller. He said that Tales of Shahryar was written by his... He also said that this great-great-grandmaster was an academia researcher. He wrote 4 volumes back then, and the reviews just got better and better. You couldn't find a single...
And then? What happened next? Why doesn't anyone know about Tales of Shahryar?
Oh, it's hard to tell when it comes to trends. One day everyone likes stories like that, and the next day, instead of writing a proper ending, this great-great-grandmaster kept trying to extend the story. To tap into popular trends, he added a lot of tropes. Then, starting from the 5th volume, the reviews started to go downhill.
How could that be?
In the end, he got so infuriated that he stopped writing altogether and focused on his research and...
What? So there's no ending?
By that time, only a very small. Anyway, my master probably exaggerated. How could a work the only tangible thing my great-great-grandmaster left? He also left behind many theses from his research phase. When my master talked about legend, my master is a much better storyteller than me. Even when we're telling the same story about Antara, he's always able to, but even he won't recite Tales of Shahryar due to its ever-changing writing.
So, Antara's story is the one that lasts.
Well, not even sages can definitively ascertain the quality of.
Only time?
Madame Faruzan?
It's been 100 years. Perhaps some things I once believed to be great aren't so after all.
Yeah! Master helped me find a lot of famous books at first. But in the end, I realized that I couldn't get into them. No matter how good those stories are.
Huh. Indeed. That is true. Read what was popular. If Tales of Shahryar hadn't chased after, it might have stood some chance of gain. Huh? How unseemly. I almost got carried away. No.
Oh.
Kale,
Dua hari.
Yes, but
then we'll use that book as our teaching material. Now that I think about it, as for the academia, as long as we Now then, let's return to the book vendor in a bit and buy the latest volume of this. But if I wish to use it as teaching material. Huh? Speaking of which, other than third eye of perception and illusory mirror, such things as. Why do people use dark If one of our learning objectives was researching.
Oh, I can tell you what that's all about. Apparently, in their youth, some people used to imagine themselves as. But as they grew old.
Mara? Huh? Why so suddenly?
I knew it. There will always be people who love the golden oldies.